The crystalline halls of the Valorian flagship hummed with bioluminescent energy as Jasper made his way through the diplomatic wing, careful to avoid the central atrium. Again. You're doing it again, Danny whispered, catching up to him. The human ambassador's assistant had been watching Jasper's elaborate detours for 3 weeks now. She's going to notice. She already has, Jasper muttered, checking his datapad with false concentration. Princess Velzara of the Valorian Empire was impossible to miss. Her scaled skin shimmered like liquid mercury. Her 4 eyes held the depth of nebulae, and her presence commanded attention in any room. She was beautiful by any species standard, a living work of art sculpted by evolution on a high-gravity world. And she had made her interest in the human engineer abundantly clear. The Valorians were the galaxy's apex species. They had conquered entropy itself, extended their lifespans to millennia, and built an empire spanning 3 galactic arms. They were stronger, smarter, and more advanced than humanity could hope to be for another 1,000 years, which was precisely the problem. Specialist Jasper. A melodious voice echoed through the corridor, freezing him mid-step. A moment of your time? Danny shot him a sympathetic look before retreating to a respectful distance. Jasper turned slowly to face Princess Velzara, who stood with 2 of her honor guard, their particle rifles humming softly. Your Radiance, Jasper said, offering the appropriate bow. Walk with me. It wasn't a request. They strolled through the observation deck, the swirling colors of hyperspace painting the princess's scales in ever-shifting hues. The silence stretched between them like a gulf of stars. You avoid me, Velzara finally said, her voice carrying no accusation, merely observation. For 23 days, you have taken alternative routes, attended different meal cycles, and declined 7 invitations to cultural exchanges. I am curious why a human would shun the attention of an imperial princess. Jasper's jaw tightened. I meant no disrespect, Your Radiance. That is not an answer. She stopped, turning her full attention to him, all 4 eyes focused with unsettling intensity. Am I not aesthetically pleasing by your species' standards? The xenobiological reports suggest significant overlap in our evolutionary preferences. You're stunning, Jasper admitted, the words escaping before he could stop them. But that's not. Then is it fear? Many species find Valorian warriors intimidating. No. Cultural incompatibility? I have studied human customs extensively. No. Velzara's primary eyes narrowed, while her secondary eyes observed his body language. Then, explain. I am a scientist at heart, Specialist Jasper. I require data. 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 Jasper looked out at the hyperspace streams, gathering his thoughts. Finally, he spoke. Because you're going to live for 15,000 years, and I'll be lucky to see 120. Silence. The kind that felt heavy with unspoken implications. Because, he continued, the words flowing now. In your empire, I've seen the memorial gardens. Hundreds of species who were client races, partners, allies, all gone now. Extinct. Outlived. You, Valorians, remain. Eternal. And everyone else becomes a memory. A footnote in your endless history. Velzara stood motionless, her bioluminescent patterns dimming. I've read your literature, Jasper said quietly. The Lament of Eternal Hearts. The poetry of Princess Kael'Vara, who watched 5 different species she befriended rise and fall. The Valorian tendency toward melancholy isn't a cultural quirk, it's survival adaptation. You learn to emotionally distance yourselves, because attachment to ephemeral beings brings endless grief. He turned to face her fully now, meeting all 4 of her eyes. You're interested in me the way a human might be interested in a beautiful butterfly. Fascinating, delicate, worthy of attention and study but temporary. And maybe that's fine for you. Maybe 70 or 80 years is a pleasant diversion when you've already lived 4,000. But for me? He shook his head. Those 70 years are all I get. That's my entire life. And I won't, spend it being someone's fascinating but ultimately disposable phase. The princess's scales had shifted to deep blue. Colors Jasper had learned indicated deep thought in Valorian physiology. Your species is so young, Velzara said slowly. Your civilization's so brief. I expected fear of inadequacy, or resentment of our advancement. Not this. We're young, Jasper agreed. Which means we burn bright and brief. Every moment, every connection, every relationship, it matters, because we don't have forever. We can't afford to be casual about the people we let into our hearts. Every human knows that anyone they love could be gone tomorrow, so we love fiercely, completely, recklessly even. He paused. We don't have the luxury of your long view. We have to make our short time count. Velzara was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice carried a weight he'd never heard before. In 4,000 years, no one has ever refused my company for such a reason. They seek favor, power, or technology. Or they fear me. Or they feel honored by the attention. Her scales shimmered through a dozen colors. You are the first to consider the price of intimacy measured in grief, to protect not my feelings, but your own finite time. I didn't mean to offend. You didn't. She touched his shoulder gently, her hand radiating warmth. You reminded me of something my people forgot millennia ago. That brevity can be its own form of wisdom. That knowing your time is limited changes how you value it. She withdrew her hand and straightened. Regal once more. Thank you, Specialist Jasper, for your honesty. I will not trouble you further with invitations. She began to walk away, then paused. Though I suspect your brief species will teach the galaxy more in your few thousand years than we've learned in our millions. You see clearly what we've lost the ability to perceive. As she departed, Danny emerged from the shadows. What just happened? She whispered. Jasper watched the princess disappear down the corridor. I think I just taught an immortal about mortality. And she understood.